Ya mॅडम समोर या. काय समोर या. विद्यार्थ्यांनी बाहेर जायचे नाहीये. मॅडम समोर या. समोर जागा आहे ना. समोर या, तुम्ही समोर या. सर्व प्राध्यापकांनी आपण समोर यावं, आपल्याला विनंती आहे. आणि पाठीमागच्या जागा विद्यार्थ्यांनी
पाहुण्यांचं आगमन होत आहे.
वेलकम वेलकम वेलकम. I request all the dignitaries of the dais to be seated on the chair. पाठीमागे उपस्थित असणारे सर्व प्राध्यापक, हॉलच्या बाहेर असणारे प्राध्यापक, आपल्या सर्वांना विनंती आहे आपण समोर येऊन बसावं. समोरच्या ठिकाणी आहेत. राजर्षी शाहू महाविद्यालय लातूर ऑटोनॉमस organized a scientific talk of renowned resource person Dr. Nanasaheb Thorat sir. Today on this special occasion, the chairperson of this today's scientific talk program is Dr. Mahadev Bhavane, Principal Rajarshi Shahu Mahavidyalaya Latur. The special presence for this program, Professor Sadashiv Shinde sir, Vice Principal Rajarshi Shahu Mahavidyalaya Latur, Dr. Abhijit Yadav. May I request Dr. Abhijit Yadav to be on the stage. Now I request all the dignitaries of the dais to start this program with the lighting of the lamps. The resource person Dr. Nanasaheb Thorat, Principal Dr. Mahadev Bhavane sir, Vice Principal Professor H.K. Shinde sir, I request all to start this program with lighting of the lamp. Thank you very much sir. Now I request the Vice Principal of the college, Professor H.K. Shinde sir, to welcome Principal of the college. We are offering a. Now I request Principal Dr. Mahadev Bhavane sir to welcome the resource person and guest lecturer of this guest lecturer Dr. Nanasaheb Thorat sir by offering a flower bouquet, memento, book and shawl. Thank you sir. Now I request Professor Vice Principal. Now I request Professor Sadashiv Shinde sir to introduce the program with the introductory speech.
Very good afternoon to all of you. राजर्षी शाहू महाविद्यालय autonomous Latur organizes international scientific camp on from laboratory to globe. How multidisciplinary research opens doors to international opportunities. At this juncture, I heartiest welcome honorable resource person of this event, Dr. Nana Sahib Thorat sir, who is from Ireland, eminent scientist, eminent physicist, eminent biologist, and particularly related to the research related to the cancer. Friends, we feel highly privileged because of the presence of Honorable Dr. Thorat sir. Sir, heartiest welcome to our esteemed institution, heritage institution, not only in Maharashtra but entire country or abroad also. Chairperson of this event, dynamic principal, visionary principal, Honorable Dr. Mahadev Gavane sir, and all my colleagues, dear participant friends. Friends, without widening a gap between you and resource person, within short while, I want to conclude. Sir, this is such a type of institution, not only concentrate on the merit of the students, but concentrating on the research, the social activities also. This institution is known for the merit. This institution is known for the pattern in education. That pattern is known as the Latur pattern in education. And at present, we are concentrating on the civil services examinations also. Friends, all of you must know, whatever the development of the world is there, this entire development of the world is because of the scientists and scientists. Obviously, most of the scientists from this field, education field, they are either teachers or the fellow students and others, you can say. Whatever the things which we are having around us, all those things are either discovered by the scientists or they have been invented by the scientists. And this present development of the world, entire world, is only because of the scientists. We have seen, we have heard during the COVID-19, here entire world was locked down. And the only solution was drawn by the persons which were the scientists. And that solution was the invention of the vaccine. That vaccine, different types of vaccines have been invented. And because of those vaccines, here entire world we will able to see became secure. Yes, this is the contribution of the scientists. Friend, you might have been seen, you might have been heard. What is the threat today to the biological scientists, to the mankind? Diabetes is not the threat. Any viral infection is also not the threat. Any physiological problem, this is also not the threat. But the only and only threat for the mankind today is the cancer and cancer, friends. Whatever the food which we are consuming today, here entire food is coming along with the pesticides. And those pesticides they are acting as the oncogenes. They are acting as the cancer creating agents. They are transforming the normal genes into the oncogenes. And these oncogenes are responsible for the development of the cancer. That's why at the level of the globe, whatever the scientific community is there, they are afraid of about this cancer and cancer, friends. And on such a problem, worldwide problem, present scientist Dr. Nana Sahib Thorat working here, friends. And the person which we are interacting today, that person, eminent person, working as a scientist in Ireland from so many years. He worked with Oxford also from so many years. And today, because of the efforts of our honorable principal, we are with Dr. Nana Sahib Thorat without widening the gap between you and him. I want to conclude my introductory speech. Thank you, friends. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, may I take this opportunity to introduce Dr. Nana Sahib Thorat, sir. Dr. Nana Sahib Thorat is an associate professor in the Department of Physics in a Digital Cancer Research Center, University of Vermont, Ireland, United Kingdom. Dr. Nana Sahib Thorat is a leading researcher in nanomedicine and cancer, currently serving as an associate professor. He is also a visiting research scientist at the University of Oxford Medical Science Division. Dr. Thorat generated a research fund in excess of 2 million euros, which is equivalent to 20 crore rupees of the year 2014. He has authored over 5 publications, including 95 peer-reviewed journals, 7 books, 25 book chapters, and he has also holds 1 European patent. His innovations have been recognized by the European Commission, and he has been a fellow of 3 fellowships. Dr. Thorat began his postgraduate career at Samsung Research Institute, South Korea. At Oxford, he developed a high-performance nano-carrier targeting chemotherapeutic pediatric tumors. He actively contributes to science policy and outreach programs. He is a fellow of Royal Society of Medicine, United Kingdom. Dr. Thorat's work continues to advance personalized medicine through nanotechnology, artificial intelligence, and three-dimensional biomedical innovations. At last, I would like to just quote one sentence for Dr. Nana Sahib Thorat. Dr. Nana Sahib Thorat means a journey of dedication and excellence. Now I request Dr. Nana Sahib Thorat to present his lecture and enlighten our students and teacher staff. Thank you, Dr. Nana Sahib Thorat.
Good afternoon, renowned dignitaries on the dais, principal and vice principal of the college, my fellow faculties from the college and students. I will not taking long time. I know it's afternoon and time for everyone to leave the campus. The faculty is more time than students thinks about it. I am at the wrong time, but at right place. I'll be taking you for, let's say, a 40 minutes in a flight. You might have been on the airport many times. We cannot directly board the flight. We have to go many things. Starting from if you go on the, let's say, Mumbai airport, they start from the upper security, then just enter into the flight, check in, then another security, immigration, and finally into the boarding. It takes around 3 hours for the actual flight, taxi, and then taking all these. I'll take you with a journey of my own research. Before that, I'll take you to the why we are in the education system and what's the motto of we are being educated. And then I will come to the almost aim to for what exactly the relationship between the faculties or the maybe our institutions which students should be. Yeah. It's just for sake of your knowledge, you might have known the Oxford, yeah, through our dictionaries. And then in India, you will find around thousand of schools who names with Oxford International School, Oxford Pattern, Cambridge Pattern. In Oxford is a small city, just 1 hour from the London, and it has a very small population. It's very beautiful city. Uh, you will see like how it exactly it's city and the university together. So this is what the city and university as well, and they have very ancient kind of texture. Harry Potter movies, they all shoot here. Well, this is just one thing about campuses, but the other, the why it is well renowned, it is top one in the QS and Times ranking always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 always. The main thing is they have 80 Nobel laureates. Many of them are now teaching also, but they have around 40 countries prime minister as well. They are Oxford graduate, and it's because of their leadership qualities and all these. Manmohan Singh, Indira Gandhi, they are the alumni of Oxford. The funding, that's what I think about, is a huge funding. 1,000 million is equivalent to 1 billion pound yearly for funding portfolio. We have around 12,000 faculties, and I have been associated as a full time between 2020 to 20 up to 23, and then from 23 to till now as a adjunct in medical sciences. So we have many startups, all these, and these big institutions. The other institutions where I was always to and fro from last 12 years is this one, University of Limerick in Ireland. Ireland is a small country close to the UK. Some people think that it is the UK, but it's not really. And the common thing between Ireland and India is they both fought with the British. Irish get first independence and then India. And even our flags are the same. We have Ashok Chakra. I think that's the additional thing. Other things are the same in the flags as well. And I have been living in this country for 7 years. I love this country mostly because of people, education system. I would say health is mostly government, 99%, but still struggling. While education is free there, full up to university level, and the job opportunities and all. We are also very beautiful campus. It's 1,200-acre campus, and actually one river flows between the campus. So it's south and north campuses. Many departments, schools, they are in the other part of the university. We have around 17 to 18,000 students yearly. Out of that, 4,000 are international. This year we got around 700 Indian students as well. Maharashtra is second top in my university. I am also chair for India committee. We have many committees of the offices. We have India office special, and I am chairing for India team. We have around 4 Marathi faculties as well, who are in different departments in chemical engineering, medicine, engineering, and I myself in the physics as well. International faculty, we have around 400 non-Irish or European people as well. 90%, yeah, 97% success rate, especially in placement. We don't have the placement that we witness the culture, like companies come into campuses and they interview you. We have different model, and that is now followed by every Irish university. So we set the model almost 20 years ago that we give the opportunity to every third-year student to go industry for 9 months. They are from any discipline, not just from science, engineering, except medicine, even law, business, social sciences, humanities, they go for industry, appropriate to their skills, their interest. And this is don't need to find anything or in the first semester of the third year. In the second semester, placement, and they take 9-month placement and come back at fourth year. And in fourth year, we have research project. So when they work in the industry, especially for 9 months, usually those industry offer them jobs. So 97% students actually go for the job after just finishing their fourth year. That is what the very different model, and now most of the universities actually following that model. For we don't offer actually any industry. We have three job fairs every year. So industry come and give the opportunity to students understand what they do, what kind of skills they need, expertise, or what the regulations are there, but not a direct offer in the campuses. The other main pillar for my whole journey is the European Commission. You might have known the European Union, which is 28 countries bureaucratic body, and they offer a huge funding for my research from last 10 years. I have more than million funding from the European Commission for cancer, and I am active for many policy makings in European Commission. They have main headquarters in Brussels, Belgium. I work for them for cancer missions. I am the member of cancer mission. Apart from that, I'm part of many European Commission post-action we call the cooperation in science and technology, where a couple of scientists, students, faculties comes in a year and they arrange events, student exchange and all this, and nominated by the Irish government from 2017. So now I'll come to today's main talk. What exactly is the interdisciplinary? Well, we were thinking about this from last 4 years. Yeah, before COVID, we have new education policy document, and then we are implementing right now. Now there is a struggle for faculties, colleges. I'm advisor for 3 universities in Pune, and they are implementing, and I know their struggle for students and faculties as well. So, but over the time, maybe we will have good fruits with that. Actually, that policy came through the analyzing or studying the different countries' education. UK, Germany, Finland are most dominated in our new education policy, where we want to actually train the students in different disciplines. But we are not talking about faculties. How about professors? What training they need? Yeah, are they accepting like students can learn in 12th class or even in their bachelor, master's, different subjects. But one teacher can teach only one subject for whole of his career. Yeah. How about he or she maybe want to teach another one? What will be their struggle as well? That's a very uncommon problem right now. Now, what exactly the interdisciplinary is? Yeah, that actually comes through our universities and institutions. Well, I'll tell you why we are here in this hall. Yeah. Just not for listening me, but every day you are in your classes to listen to your teachers, lecturers, professors. Apart from that, you are here for social behavior also. We are the animals who are the most social. Dogs are social, but they hate each other when they just change their zone. Yeah. Human don't usually. Other animals, they hate each other even. And that's why we are here actually. Why we go to the school. Even from your year 3, we have now schooling. Year 2 also now started in metro cities. It's because of they get to know about their fellows, maybe they be some friends or make or understand how we can behave in a public place. Yeah, this is actually one motto of education, to give you the social training. And then economics comes, maths comes, and physics and other subjects come. Yeah, that's our human intellectual knowledge. A dog don't know about physics. Yeah, he don't care about that, but he has some social elements. Birds have social elements. Elephants have social elements, but they don't know physics, chemistry, mathematics. Yeah? They don't have that intellectuality. Might be their knowledge. It might be different. Like cats, they can see infrared. We can't. Yeah, means their intellectuality might be different. Well, that's why we are in any education or university complexes. The main motto is learning and development. Then we go for the discovery or contributing knowledge. So not only learning, but contributing into new knowledge. Then we develop something, do the research or innovation, invention. Maybe that is a knowledge contribution. That knowledge we have to transfer to someone. That is a transfer of knowledge. High community engagement. Community engagement is like mostly socially connected with the other people. The main part of the education is the transmission of knowledge, two-way knowledge transfer. I'll come to one thing, what exactly is knowledge transfer. This is one example actually in interdisciplinary. We don't need to be always reading many things all the day. We ourselves are already interdisciplinary in nature. Our brain itself has. Brain has a billion cells, they are interconnected like our computer nodes, they are connected. We call the brain interface, actually AI/ML comes through that concept. So our brain itself is a interdisciplinary. Just especially in the education system or in academic knowledge, what the interdisciplinary is, bringing two different domains together and contributing new knowledge for to make the third new domain. Like biochemistry is one of the example where biology and chemistry came together. That's the biochemistry right now. 100 years before it was a chemistry, it was a biology. Now era of microbiology, even the electronics is one example. It's can evolve through the physics. Computer science is one example. Computer science is not engineering actually, it is physics and maths. Actually, it started from the maths. Programming is mostly mathematics, and execution is physics actually. So they govern the statistical mechanics rules in execution. Yeah, how the particle behaves in an empty space or in confined space. That is what the computer do. So one kind of interdisciplinary knowledge. Photonics is new branch coming, which and that photonics is actually a true interdisciplinary where physics, chemistry, mathematics, engineering bringing together. So this is what, especially in research, when you work in different fields, that is interdisciplinary. Yeah, this is what the best slide I like in my presentation. That's one-way knowledge transfer. Have you heard before about knowledge transfer? One-way and two-way knowledge transfers. Usually, one-way knowledge transfer is what we used to. Like one example, why we have the follower culture, yeah, celebrity culture, or why we have the these all influencers. It's because of that. Now, what happens when you scroll your phone, especially let's say Instagram, yeah, the 15-30 second a reel you watch. Sometimes you like, you don't. You like it, then algorithm gives you the similar kind of trend, or maybe from the same account, media, again reels and this. Now then you start to love it, yeah, and that movement is the following movement. Now followers are two types: followers and blind followers. People follow actually to someone, to some technologies, other people's thoughts and all these. This is very common. Even dogs follow us. Yeah, dogs even follows us. Yeah, that's common in nature. But blind following is uncommon. That's we are doing. Why? It is because of one-way knowledge transfer. One-way knowledge transfer is what? We usually influenced by the teachers and then family members, and we believe that they are the truth teller. Yeah. Today I'm here, and I got the opportunity to get the dais. Yeah. If I compare other people, you might be believing me this because whatever I'm intellectually telling you, philosophically talking, it might be right, yeah, for you. But when you cross-check, might be I'm wrong in some certain stages, some circumstances because of frame of references. Yeah, in one frame of reference, I might be right; in another, I might be wrong. Yeah. Now, how do we know it is? For that, we need a critical thinking. This is what the main purpose of every education. Our university's motto is actually making the students as a critical thinkers, not an employee of any industry. That's why we don't invite any industry in the campuses. So, in one-way knowledge transfer, actually I am dominant right now, giving you whatever, it's my own thoughts, might be it's wrong, yeah? But I'm influencing you. Yeah? Now, slowly, you start to follow me, my thoughts. Yeah? Because you are used to with that from your year one, when you started first standard, the teacher is the right, and he has the right on the dais and telling you whatever education. Now, the same philosophical social behavior or human behavior is taken by the other people. These reel makers or YouTubers or politicians or these babas and all these, they influence your mind through the one-way knowledge transfer because you don't ask questions to them. Yeah? You don't have the right also. You don't have an opportunity also to ask the question. In satsang, they never give you the opportunity to ask questions in between their talk. Yeah? But in science, we won't believe that. Science doesn't evolve without critical thinking. If we just have one way, then it's not science. It's just something that influencing, and we don't like influencer. Uh, I never feel politician or any cricketer or anything. Even I don't follow scientists also. They might be wrong in some place, similar to me. It might be at some stage I will like their thoughts, maybe research. At some stage I don't, maybe, and that's why we are doing the research. If we love everything, we stop working. Yeah? If we don't, we rethink it, we critically think it, and we invent or we do the research. That's why science always love the criticism. Yeah? Now, the next is a two-way knowledge transfer, where everyone has equal opportunity to share the knowledge, equal infrastructure, and equal bias also. And this is what we do, especially even in my lab. We have 10 students. We always have weekly meetings. Sometimes they criticize me, I criticize them also, but our criticism is healthy. It's not a personal one. That's what we are used to. Now, this is what most important, especially for the two-way knowledge transfer, especially new education focusing on that. That everyone will have opportunities at least. Their knowledge, maybe contributing to the knowledge, and in future there will be a leader who will be leading that knowledge. Now, we don't need to be study every subject. Actually, all subjects also interdisciplinary. Now, this is iPhone. We are again techno people, and from last 2-3 years when India started making the iPhone, even I don't tell this is iPhone. I tell it is a Pro Max. Yeah? If it is an iPhone, it's very common. Everyone thinks, oh, it's iPhone. If I say Pro Max, then they think, still people think, I can tell them, oh, this is something new behind iPhone. Yeah? That's very popular right now, iPhone. You can see just within 3-4 years. Now Tesla will become next iPhone. Yeah? Probably in next couple of months you will see the Tesla everywhere. Like in UK we see. Well, the story about iPhone, it's not developed. It's developed by the engineers, technologists, but it's designed by the psychologists. The design comes through the psychology. It is a humanity. Why? Because if I make the phone like an old TV box, who will love it? Yeah? So design is very important. And design is a part of the human behavioral science. It is a humanity actually. It doesn't come in the technology. Right now they are adding the design in the technology. But before that, actually, it is a part of social behavior. So all our streams already connected each other. Even medicine as well. I teach for medicine student. I teach quantum physics for this semester, and next semester I'm teaching the biomedical instrumentation, physics, biomedical engineering, and medicine people takes. Even I teach biophysics as well. I teach immunology as well. And I do research in immunology. This is another world. But this is actually not a one-day journey and all this. It takes a long time throughout the years. Well, before that also this is in the system. Just we have to connect the dots. Connecting dots is very important. Maybe I will see. Yes, this is also another important through the new education policy. We are thinking about the. Still, we are struggling to get the equality. Yeah, we have equality, diversity concept coming. Yeah. Now, what equality is this? So we are giving some infrastructure to the a weak person. Even our motto for European Commission is that not making a strong guy more strongest. Our main motto is making a weak guy to be a strong guy. Yeah, so the same like in equality, we try to. In equity, actually, we achieve little bit. Unfortunately, we don't know the barrier. What exactly the barrier? Now, do you know what is the barrier in your education system? What is the main big barrier in your education system? And learning the new knowledge. Exams. Because of exams, we study for the exams. Yeah. If there is no exam, you will study for the knowledge. Yeah. what we do actually, how we study, how I study. And it's my own formula for 20 years. I study, I like people what do, especially in 12th class or even still master students, they follow the notes. They never go to the library and see the reference books. Actually, we read one concept in a one book many times. Yeah? One concept in one book, it's just followed by many times. And then we write in the exam. Yeah, that is what our basic formula to study anything. But the reality is that if you want to be a critical thinker, if you want to be a researcher, not to be a researcher in academic, researchers are everywhere. It's not just academicians. Study one concept in different books. Read different books. Single concept, read single concept in different books. You don't need to mug it. You don't need to read to again and again. The same concept, let's say, I'm from the physics background, reading the concept of the velocity, yeah, or Newton's first law, even I don't recall it. I would say like Newton's first law. We read it in notebooks, or maybe in the text. Why don't you read the concept of Newton's books? The concept clear is what reading the one concept in different perspective. At that time, a million layers, brain thinks in layers. Yeah. So when you read one thing in different perspective, they make the layers and they compare each other. One example with our eyes, if you have different number for this eye and different number for this eye, if you see with one eye, probably you can see the one thing blur, other eye may give you the same thing, a very clear picture. If you use two eyes, open eyes, one thing you can see the clear. Yeah, why it is? Because actually this light comes to your eyes, they process light into signals. Brain processes that signals and they superimpose. And then they give you the maximum bandwidth signal back. Yeah? Amplitude, superimposition of waves. They give brain always give you the maximum amplitude. And that's why we see the clear picture by two eyes. If you go in the opticians, they will find different numbers for you. But with naked eyes, and this is what happens with the concepts also. Two different concepts, one concept in different perspective, brain makes it superimposition and they store as a memory. Unfortunately, we are still in that system where we read one concept again and again and again, and then we think that we know that concept. It's not really. So liberation is what you have to remove the barrier. Not only for education, whatever it is, we have to remove it. Now, that's the second part of my talk. It's all about just I'm keeping you through the boarding. Now we are in the flight. Well, what we need to be in traditional researcher? I will give my own example. Well, I will start with my journey. How actually I started my research. Who is my role model? We always have. I'm not follower of these people, but I love them. Just read the news. Like scientists grow a mini brains in a lab using Neanderthal DNA. Now you know the branch of anthropology, but the students don't know about it. We don't have even that course. But anthropology is a kind of studying a DNA of Neanderthal or sapiens and in between that. It's not a history, it's a scientific history. So they study more on these very, very ancient history in a scientific way. So the guy here is a Nobel laureate actually. He actually, anthropologist from Sweden, went to the pyramids in Gaza, in Egypt. And then he thought like to understand these pyramids and the mummies and all this, my anthropology knowledge is very, very limited. So I have to go and study medicine. So he went back to Germany, studied medicine up to PhD. And he has 2 PhDs in anthropology and then medicine. And with that, what he did, actually he took some Neanderthal DNAs. It's not easy to take it. There are some Neanderthal samples, but you have to lobby with the international community. So he did 10 years of efforts. And through his research, actually he grown the one brain, a small brain model of Neanderthal DNA. Why it is? Now the story starts in the COVID. Yeah, in the COVID, we have a million of perspectives, perceptions about the someone got the COVID syndrome. Yeah, in single family, father, mother, or any close relation also, they have different conditions. Even in the societies also, yeah, one got, one don't. Maybe they are full of the society with the COVID, and there is nothing. Why it is? Who is responsible? Now, then we are talking about immunity. Yeah, everyone's immunity is different. Now, why it is different? Yeah, why it is? Who is responsible for this immunity? For this immunity, the main responsibility is our genes. Now, these genes are actually made up with the DNAs. Yeah? Now, this guy actually, they both, he's from Canada right now in USA, they studied gene pattern actually and how they impact our immunity, and that immunity responds to the same disease. Yeah? Even we are the twins, our genes little bit for immunity and all are little bit different. If you have siblings, it's almost far way different. If you are from different backgrounds, it's almost 99% different genes categories you bring from different parents. Now that means you bring in different immunity. So he studied that kind of how these kind of diseases and our response, and that's why he got the Nobel Prize in 20 of the COVID, because his theory is proven in the COVID. Now he's anthropologist, then he became a medicine scientist, then he's in everything. That is the true interdisciplinary people in the world are actually. Fortunately, I met many of such kind of personalities. One of them actually there. We follow actually kind of not follow, but we try to create actually a kind of small kind of tumor models using similar kind of platform technologies or discoveries to understand the disease. Now, to be expert, there is no expert concept actually, but to be a student or maybe a someone who researcher, a skilled one, we say like traditional domains, physics, chemistry, biology, or medicine. I actually started from the physics, then biology. Chemistry is always a bridge between physics and biology. So like and for medicine, biology is a bridge between chemistry and medicine. Yeah, so there is always we need a bridge. So I will start with my own journey actually, how I became from physics to now I work with the medical doctors, clinicians. What medical doctors do the PhD under me. How this is? So it's simple thing. It is nothing miracle, nothing rocket science, nothing world-class achievement, anything. I never got a single a bouquet on stage till my PhD. My first actual felicitation is a gold medal in PhD. Before that, I never got anything. That was my first actually during the PhD. So I did almost all kind of basic fundamental physics, maths, more on I'm fascinated mathematics. I bring with my mark list also. People won't believe that many times. When introduce about me, they think that is something a different galaxy person. It's not true. It's just 70% in my 10th class and less in even yeah in 12th it is 60%, and even more so because of Marathi and biology. But I got the highest score in biology. I have physics degree. I love biology, but more than I love the mathematics. So we have different perspective. We marry with someone, but our true love is different in many times. Yeah, not all are lucky right now. You might be better than us. Like we have many true loves, but we marry different people. So yeah, it's main hormones always do that. So this happened with me also. Yeah, actually my true love was biology in 12th. Yeah, because I got the highest score. But it doesn't mean we have to marry with them. Yeah, sometimes we can have a better relationship without marriage, and that's why I left biology forever as subject. Then I studied physics, maths, stat, and electronics during my BSc. Even in MSc is pure physics and kind of energy science all this. Actually, the true biology experience started when I entered to do my first job in Korea. Next, yeah. This is the institute, Samsung Biomedical Institute, where actually I work with the medical doctors, microbiologists, biochemists, biotechnologists, everyone. And they train me on the biological experiments. Because biological experiments are very hard to reproduce. They are not reproducible like chemistry. Chemical reactions are reproducible with the same environment. In biology, it won't work, and that's why biology is very, very less attracted career in India, especially. We have biotech boom, but it's not true boom. Real biotech industries are in Europe because Europeans are very cool-minded people. They are very, even in my country also. They are. If I go to even my email and they will say, "Oh, we'll do your work." When they never say. Oh, will do. And we know it's they will be doing it. Don't ask them again and again. That's cool we are actually. Yeah? And the people are cool there also. Hear about that. They think that we are living when we live our if there is one bus miss, there is another always. Yeah, so they believe on that. And that's why most of medicine related discoveries come through the Europe. Technological comes through the USA because they are different competition. Then I'm in Korea, working there for 2 years, and this is right now my institute, university, my office, my lab also. Here actually, I came in Department of Physics, but doing the similar kind of experiment, research, especially the cancer. So we have different kind of perspective right now with physics and chemist and pharmacist. We are working on cancer earlier with the medicine people. I was there till 2018, between 15 to 18, and then I left again Ireland and went to in biomedical engineering department and little bit some 6 months stay in the Switzerland. Now there in Switzerland, that is another world actually. Switzerland is beautiful. We love everyone has a dream to go Switzerland. I have been there many times, but what other purpose? Actually, that's the purpose. So it's a simple animal. All these medicines they are tested on these animals. Yeah, you know what the mice and there are different type of mice also. I was working in one hospital. It's called the Wake Zoo Facility, veterinary hospital. Uh, you'll be surprised to know in that veterinary hospital we have MRI, CT scan, linear machines, everything. But they are not for humans, they are for from rat to horses. So I was not allowed to treat them, but many times I witnessed they were treating horses under MRI. They were taking MRI of horses. Horses get mostly fractures. Yeah? So they get the patients from USA, Turkey, or Spain, and all these because horse racing and people have their own horses. But the other thing is that we study the disease on the animals. So usually medicinal people they induce the disease on animals like mice, rabbits, all of this. Now this induced disease for any kind of research purpose is not replicating, mimicking the human biology or human environment. So we need a natural patient. So you know some patients got a cancer, you know some animals, and one of them is a dog. Dog can get the cancer. Cows get the diabetes. You know, they die with the diabetes. So that's why we say grass is green from the other side. Even they are eating grass, but they die with the diabetes. Yeah? It always happens. So these are the natural patients where we can study our medicine. So I was working with this, not only with these people, but they are psychologists also. They are the brain therapist and all kind of therapies for animals. So why we need like a simple small animal? The problem with this animal, sometimes we inject something, on the next day, right, he dies. Now, how you conclude that? What's the reason? We can do the postmortem and all these, and then we can understand. But before that, these animals are very scared for any kind of things, even injections, and they die with the heart attack. So the snake bite people, they don't die with their venom, they die with the heart attacks. 99% snake bite people die with the heart attack. because of the of fear and consciousness. Same happens with the animals, and that's why we treated them under the psychology. So slow treatment and their all behavior and all. So that matters in research also. How you are giving the samples, how you are giving the drug. Actually, during the FDA approval, you have to write all these things. These kind of practices is called the GLP practices, good lab practices. So that is what the lab was there. If you test any drug there, it straight away go for the FDA approval. Yeah. And then the last, actually, I changed again from the Switzerland to Oxford. During the year of the COVID, I was working on the another hospital that is mostly something complex environment in the university, the women's hospital. I was working with the women and reproductive health division where we consult with the women who have many problems post-pregnancy, pre-pregnancy, all these, and their hormonal things, all these. But my research was mostly on the brain cancer, especially in children. They have born with the cancers and what the origin, but what is will be the new therapy. So this is what my journey actually. Now I welcome what we do, what kind of research I do. I'm not going in any details. It's very complex data and all these, and I don't want to bother you or make a bore for such a nice environment right now. I'll just give you the idea what we do. Actually, if you follow the spirituality, spiritual people always think that we are made up with the energy. Yeah? Even science believes. If you don't follow spirituality and you follow the physics and accepting the Big Bang, the Big Bang theory started with the one explosion. And what is it is energy explosion, dense matter, yeah? And the matter spread, then they combine again over the time, billion years. Now this is what energy. Now energy, how the forms, yeah? How well known is the light energy. That's what we get from the stars. But magnetic is itself our own earth field. And energy itself make a disease, and that has also cure. Last option in medicine for any treatment is the energy treatment. If energy treatment fails, then this is, oh, you have to take your patient. So that's why we work mostly energy. We work on the light-based energy and magnetic field-based energies. So like one example, MRI machine is actually magnetic field, but they use for the imaging purpose, diagnostic purpose. MRI is not a treatment. Where suppose we want to see that there is the cancer or someone has a problem in the brain or nervous system, they use MRI. Now they can identify or they can diagnose the disease or problem, but under MRI we cannot treat any patient. Yeah? For treatment we have to use the surgery only. Now there is an era that what we are working under MRI we can treat the person also. The same magnetic we can use as a therapeutics. This is what we are working. That is called the magnetic force or magnetic fluid hyperthermia treatment under MRI. Another kind of imaging techniques coming magnetic force, magnetic particle imaging also, which will be better than MRI. The problem with MRI is high magnetic field and low, very high noise, and then time. You have to be there for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. New techniques comes where within couple of minutes we can diagnose disease, and in the same instrument we can do the surgery as well, we can do the imaging as well. That's what we are working. Also, my core area right now, apart from physics, is the what I showed in one example of the Swedish scientist. We are actually doing the similar kind of lab-based models for tumors, especially cancer tumors. As I say, in animals, it's not easy. It's easy to make the disease model, but it's not easy to replicate in a human. If you have suppose 1,000 drugs in the lab testing, out of that maybe 100 get good results, proper results. Out of 100, only 5 will show you the animal test, animal results, and out of 5 actually 0 goes to the human. Yeah? So out of 1,000, maybe 1 can go to the human. It's a tremendous investment for research to human. We want technologies within night. People think we are not creative, innovative, inventive. We want something within the night, like vaccines. Yeah, vaccines are not within the night journey. Vaccines are 30 years of journey. Even COVID vaccine, we thought it is a 1 year journey. It's not. The COVID vaccine, we got the Covishield. Its real name is Oxford AstraZeneca, that is developed by the Oxford scientist. Actually, Sarah Gilbert, her name. She was working for 30 years on the DNA-based vaccines. She already invented the vaccine for Ebola, vaccine for the MERS. Yeah, and she recently have a new vaccine for dengue as well. During the COVID, they just tested their MERS vaccine can be used as a COVID vaccine, just changing some ingredients like a cooking. Yeah, just change some masales and get the new recipes. The same is happened with the vaccines. The same with the other vaccine that's very famous, like people have the dream that they will be have Pfizer vaccine or the Moderna vaccine. I had the Pfizer vaccine. But that's all are the same right now. So Pfizer vaccine came through the university actually, BioNTech. They are German scientists. Moderna vaccine is truly a really sterling story. Moderna is a company established by the MIT scientists. 8, 9 people actually. One of them is Robert Langer, is a very big personality. So they established this company almost 20 years ago. And in 2018, they were bankrupt. In 2019, they decided to sell this company. And nobody needed that company. When COVID started, because they have formulation ready for drug delivery, lipid, and nanoparticles, they just tested the mRNA. Can we do mRNA delivery to the immunity, and can they boost the immunity and act as a vaccine? And they got it. Now, when they had their press conference, they started press conference. When they ended with the press conference are usually for 1 hour. They got the $400 million investment within that short time. Now they are billionaires who went to be a bankrupt, and they are university researchers working in MIT and Harvard and other part of the US as well. So sometimes you need a big patience. It's not a one-night journey. Sometimes we get a one-night breakthrough, and we ended with the one night also. Many of our startups start with that dreams, ambitions, like a hotel business, and they start and they end. Actually, research won't work like that. Many examples are there. So we work such kind of models. So we will provide it to the pharmaceutical industry so they can test their drug. Not only pharma, but we want to explore new kind of models that can be replicated as a human model. So that is called the lab on chip models we develop. We are state of the art, and we are working. Even we are 3 of my post PhD, we call the postdoc. They are working on the taking samples from the cancer patients, then go to the lab and grow the tumor from that patient and test drugs, design the new drug also, not only the well-established drug, design the new drug. We are designing the new drug, peptide-based drug, delivery vehicles as well to drug and give it back. So we are up to like developing the tumor from patients and from these kind of models in the lab. I have one image of this kind of tumors in the lab. They are a real kind of 3D structures, but we can play with the because cells, not a single cell. They are immune cells. They have layers, different kind of cell layers. Their properties we call tumor microenvironment. And drugs don't penetrate up to the end into the tumor. They usually go on the surface, and that's why they are aggressive. So we study such kind of drug mechanism. They are going into the depth, what mechanism we have to follow to target them, and then the mostly if they are not penetrating through a very depth, what delivery vehicles we can design. So we work on the delivery vehicles. Yes, so we use the lipid-based formulations. 2 of my PhD students. They work on the lipid-based formulations. We develop the small delivery vehicles. Now, why we need these deliveries? You might know like how many cancer drugs are available in the market. It's not 1 to 10. We have 900 drugs available in the market. Now, what's the problem with drugs? Because drugs don't know where to go. We inject them, they go everywhere. They go with the flow of the blood and circulation system. And they end up with liver and kidney and they exit. Now, out of 100 mg, only 5 mg go to the tumor. So only 5% effectiveness we get. And the rest of 90%, they are going to the heart, they are going to the kidneys, they are damaging many other things. Yeah? That's why they get the side effect. Then here we need a special delivery vehicle who will guide this drug. They will take that drug, they will guide through the blood. Blood is very dangerous. Blood has 100 different type of cells who attack on that, mostly immune cells. They attack on everyone. So it's not easy to travel within the blood. So we need a vehicle who will give them a shielding, a proper direction, pathway to the diseased organ, let's say a tumor, and release them also. And then leave the place and drug will start acting. So in cancer research, we don't need new drug. Nobody is working on new drug development right now in cancer. They are working on the new delivery vehicles. Yeah, that's what we are also doing. People are working on mRNA or gene therapy. We also work, but we don't develop any chemical-based molecules because we know their limitations. Next. Also, we work on another technology, as I said, we work on the light activated. There is another threat to humanity we call the silent pandemic. That's what the superbugs, hospital-acquired infections. You know, many times your patients actually they have the sepsis, we call the septic things. Sepsis, when they get treated in some hospitals. Why it is? Because there are bacteria, they are already there, and they attack on patients. And if there is surgery, wound, they attack on them, and there is a sepsis movement where they die with the high fever, and within a week they die actually. And doctor says we cannot work because all antibiotics fail. Because we have only 6-7 left. Now they are resistant, all bacteria are resistant to antibiotics. Now new treatments, not any single government fund for the new antibiotic. They said no, you must have an alternative treatment for the antibiotics. So we work on the gold nanorod based therapies, which will become a new antibiotics in future. This is our results on the superbugs. Superbugs are the kind of bacteria. They are alive in the hospitals and cannot be treated with any kind of antibiotics. So we have such kind of strains in the labs where we test some of the nano formulations along with the live, because with nano formulations. Next one, this will be maybe a last slide for my today's presentation. What exactly it is. Now we are talking about one thing, invention. Yeah? What is the difference between research, innovation, and invention? What do you think? Well, what is the main difference? Research, innovation, and invention. I'll give one example, maybe in Marathi. Yeah, तुम्हाला बैलगाडी माहिती असेल. तर बैलगाडी जर तुम्ही आत्ताची पाहिली असेल आणि 30 वर्षापूर्वी ज्यावेळी आम्ही शाळेत होतो त्यावेळी त्याला ना जाड लाकडी चाक होती. आता त्या नाहीये. ती ज्यावेळी रस्त्यावरून जायची त्याला स्ट्रॉंग बैल पाहिजे होते. आत्ताच्या बैलांचं ते काम नाहीये. म्हणजे आज आपण ते उसाच्या वगैरे गाड्या बघतो पण त्या चाक त्याची हेवी होती. एक बैलगाडी हे एक एक्झाम्पल जर आपण समजा आपल्याला त्या बैलगाडीमध्ये जर चेंजेस करायचे असतील तर आपण काय करणार की इतर बैलगाड्यांचा अभ्यास करणार, बैलांचा अभ्यास करणार आणि मेबी जाड लाकूड आहे ते कमी वजनाचं लाकूड, मेबी जाड चाक आहे ते कमी वजनाचं चाक, त्याला रिसर्च म्हणायचं. दॅट इज रिसर्च. जे काय ते नॉर्मल चेंजेस करू दिस इज रिसर्च. तुम्ही आम्ही ते करतो, मी सुद्धा रिसर्च करायचं. एक नेक्स्ट लेवल इनोव्हेटर द्या. समजा एखाद्या व्यक्तीने विचार केला की नाही ह्या बैलगाडीच्या चाकामध्ये प्रॉब्लेम आहे, आपल्याला चाकं रिप्लेस करावी लागतील आणि ती चाकं बदलून आताची जी चाकं आलेली आहे जी लोखंडी होती नंतर आता पुन्हा ट्रॅक्टर सारखी चाकं आलेली आहे, दॅट इज इनोव्हेशन. इन्व्हेन्शन म्हणजे काय? इन्व्हेन्शन म्हणजे रस्त्यावरून बैलगाडी हटवून तिथं 4 व्हीलर आणणार, दॅट इज इन्व्हेन्शन. म्हणजे बैलगाडीला पूर्ण एका नवीन टेक्नॉलॉजीनं रिप्लेस केलं. That is invention. आणि जे इन्व्हेन्शन करतात त्यांना नोबेल प्राइज मिळतो. रिसर्चर इनोव्हेटरना सुद्धा मिळत नाही. सिंपल एक्झाम्पल, ज्याने डायोड शोधला त्याला नोबेल प्राइज मिळाला, पण ज्याने कॉम्प्युटर शोधला त्याला नोबेल प्राइज मिळाला नाही. कारण कॉम्प्युटरचा मेन पार्ट आहे ट्रान्झिस्टर, ट्रान्झिस्टरवाल्याला पण नोबेल प्राइज मिळाला, पण ट्रान्झिस्टरचा पण मेन पार्ट आहे डायोड. कॉम्प्युटरचा अजून एक पार्ट आहे सीआरओ, जी स्क्रीन आहे, त्याला सुद्धा नोबेल प्राइज मिळाला. कॉम्प्युटरचा जो आयसी आहे त्याला सुद्धा नोबेल प्राइज मिळाला. कॉम्प्युटरच्या आतमध्ये जे कॉम्प्लेक्स इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स आहेत, मेकॅनिझम, त्यांना सुद्धा नोबेल प्राइज मिळाला. कॉम्प्युटरला नाही मिळाला, कारण त्यांना अनेक पार्ट्स एकत्र करून ते फक्त बिल्ड केलं, असेंबल केलं. दॅट इज जस्ट इनोव्हेशन, नॉट इन्व्हेन्शन. ज्या दिवशी कॉम्प्युटरला काहीतरी नवीन पर्याय येईल ना, दॅट इज इन्व्हेन्शन, कदाचित त्याला देखील. अशा अनेक मेनी टाइम्स we think why that guy didn't get the Nobel Prize. It's because of the thinking process of their discoveries. They are invented or innovative or just research. Now we are in the era of technology radiance. Maybe you are the students in future when you will be going to the industry job. They always ask about this thing, TRL level. What is your TRL level? TRL is like your research level. How you categorize your research between 0 to 9 or 1 to 10 something. Usually most of our research start from the 0, like idea. I believe on the research start with the discussion. So R start with the D, and so we need a discussions. That is what very 0 level. The full commercial application, any product that's bringing the money, that's the final TRL. Like vaccine, idea to the all supply chain management, and then they got the money. Who? The inventor, not the industry. If inventor got the money, means he achieved the TRL 9, or in our India it is TRL 10. Now these are the steps actually usually in our research to invention journey, or maybe research to innovation journey. Invention is another class of the discovery. It doesn't come under research and innovations. Well, this is what actually all about my today's talk is about the just giving you the idea about how actually the research works, how interdisciplinary is, what we need to be interdisciplinary, and in future how it will look like. Yeah, in future we will have many people. They might have more interdisciplinary than me also. Now, as I started with the faculties, we can make it because they are. Unfortunately, our faculties don't like it. Case for any a particular college or institution in India. I have been in many institutions right now, and they have the same. The physicists never read the biology. Biologists don't care about the law. Lawyers don't care about the medicine. Medicine people don't care about the engineering. Without engineering, there is no medicine discovery. Like stethoscope to the MRI, it's actually engineers. They discovered, or they, like physicists, they discovered an engineering as well. So who makes the most profit from that? It's the medicine people. But they think that we don't need engineering. Yeah? They will be suffered once AI comes. Medical practitioners will be suffering as well. Yeah? Similarly, like the people, engineers, they think that AI will just demolish our jobs. Not truly, they will demolish everyone's. There will be new opportunities as well. We work on the AI modeling also. I didn't put that slide, but we develop a model to understand the disease, especially personalized cancer vaccines. Two of my students actually they work on the designing the peptides using the AI/ML models. One of the students actually working on the feature extraction from the microscopic images, and we understand it for the 3D models. We have many applications in pharmaceutical industry. So there is a thread. There is also the some kind of opportunities as well in new technology. So thank you so much. I mean, almost 1 hour. I engage you. I hope this is fruitful. I believe on the two-way knowledge transfer always. I know it's time constraint. If I get the permission, I will excuse you for maybe 1 or 2 questions if you have in mind. Please ask me. Ask questions and accountable to questions also. We only ask questions. We are not accountable. Yeah. In research, we should be accountable also. If I ask question, return back, answer it. Yeah. So don't be afraid, but please ask me any question, any doubts about whatever my research or any other thing. about education, other things, please, maybe one or two questions from student session.
Topic is open for discussion.
Or faculties would like to ask me questions. Yes, sir.
After how many years it will be possible to eradicate the cancer from our world?
Actually, before that, I have to tell you the history of the cancer also. Actually, when you go in the pyramids, that mummy has cancer also. So it is long-lasting disease. Yeah? We are witnessing this disease, especially from last 30, 40 years, novel diagnostic technology. So cancer is in everyone's gene. Yeah? But there is another gene. We have oncogene, but there are another proteins who suppress them. Like our parents, they always suppress us, don't do these things. Yeah? If you are teenager, actually you overplus them, surplus them, and you are the headache for them. Similarly happens in cancer, if your immunity actually playing the major role, they suppress that oncogenal base every day, every second also. But if your immunity gets compromised, that gene dominant, and people have the cancer. Not only immunity, but there are other factors like environment is right now very, very strange factor. Food is another factor. Mental stress is another third. These are actually factors who actually compromise our immunity, and then disease comes. Now, this is a story about why disease is now when it will be eradicated. That's a never-ending story. Now, which words gets the more funding than the ISRO and then the NASA and all kind of research is a cancer. Cancer mission all over the world highly dominated for the funding. But still we have the disease because cancer is not a disease. It is another human in our own body. He has very clever. He can make his own blood supply. No, is not unfortunately is very interesting, but it's unfortunate. Let's kidney stone, yeah, and kidney pain or maybe something paining in an organ. Yeah, do you think that organ goes to the liver, brain, and asks help? Okay, cure my disease. Yes, they do actually when we sleep. But if whole organ goes there, never. Kidney never go to the brain for asking any help. Or suppose if someone's kidney has damage, the other part never go to the brain and they stay there. But someone has a kidney cancer, that cancer goes to the brain. That cancer goes to the liver. That is called the metastasis stage, where of one organ invade other organ. Yeah? Parasite mechanism. Have you watched the Parasite South Korean movie? Yeah? We have the followers. Why? Because we copy paste their movies. We cannot create Parasite movie. We never. We don't have that guts or directors. Copy pasted from Korean movie. 10 years ago, they already have that movie. And we are trying right now after 10 years. They already did it. So, that kind of parasite mechanism is in cancer. Now, from where it comes, it's still unknown. Until and unless we don't know the whole disease very well, we'll be not curing that disease. We need good people, technologies, huge investment, efforts to eradicate that disease. But I will say we will be living with that disease.
Sir, I have two questions actually. One is related to today's presentation, and other is in my mind from so many years. The first is about the quantum physics, because nowadays much is discussed about the quantum physics, actually quantum computing, and they are very much sure about early diagnosis of the cancer as well as treatment of the cancer. I am sure about the diagnosis, it may be possible. But whether by using quantum physics methodology, treatment is possible?
Yeah. So should I answer this question and then you ask me? Yeah. So the real problem in cancer is that we have 900 medicines and they are for primary tumors. Means stage 1 tumors. Now, the other story is that we do not have diagnosis for early tumor, but we have medicine. So we have a diagnosis for late stage, stage 3, stage 4, but we don't have single medicine for that. So we treat stage 3 and stage 4 cancer using the primary medicines that is designed for primary tumors. Unfortunately, and we do not have any diagnostic unit technology for primary tumor. Yeah? So this is a very complex paradox. So we have treatment for early stage, but we don't have diagnosis for early stage. Yeah? Now, what's the problem with early diagnosis? Now, what diagnosis is? It's like we understand the disease. When there are symptoms. Now, cancer is not coming from anywhere. It is from our own organs. So these organs never give you the real symptoms immediately. Like suppose pain or something when there is a big tumor. If tumors start from single cells, there is no such kind of signals that cell sends. They send it, but it's not detectable. That's called the biomarker discovery. So until and unless we don't discover such kind of biomarkers of primary tumors, we cannot diagnose it. Now people are trying from blood test, urine test, our sweats, or our psychological behavior might be a diagnosis for early stage tumors, but not for primary tumors, definitely. That's why people are trying to diagnose cancer as much as early, but on the other way, they are developing new medicines for late stage cancer. Nobody is now working on the primary tumors right now. They are working on the metastatic cancer. So all personalized medicines is a part of the metastatic. You might have heard the cancer vaccine concept. Yeah? Like a HPV vaccine is not a cancer vaccine, it is against a virus which may cause the cancer. Another is the hepatitis, is another virus who may cause the liver cancer in future. We give this vaccine. But the cancer vaccine concept is different, especially in the stage 4 patient. You can take their samples in the lab, grow their tumor, design the medicine against them, and give that medicine to the patient. That is the patient-specific personalized medicine. Only one company, again, Moderna is dominant there because they have 30-40 years of rich history of research, and they invested 700 million on cancer vaccine who cured only 18 patients right now. So huge investment there. So they came with one blood cancer vaccine, but 200 industries actually across the globe, except India, they are now startup in cancer vaccines. Unfortunately, not in India. We have many pharma and other, but they are traditional. They can upscale, they can manufacture, but they cannot discover, unfortunately, because we need skill set, reagents especially. It's very expensive. And our health sector is private. They don't like the research. Yeah? They just are a kind of business where the research is public, like UK, Germany, part of the USA. There they are discovering such kind of cancer vaccine. So early diagnosis is a problem, and that's why they are focusing on the late stage medicine. Second question, sir.
Second, actually, it is in my mind that targeted drug therapy nowadays, one concept is evolved that is called Trojan horse concept, in which the cell can be made full and the drug can be delivered in the cell in spite of its resistance. Whether this technology, Trojan horse technology, in the drug therapy, in which small peptides less than 20 kD, they can be delivered and they can cross the barrier of lipids even. So whether it can be used in the treatment of the cancers.
That actually my research area. We work on the mitochondrial targeting. Mitochondria is one organelle in the cells. Now we design the peptides. One of my students, two of them are doing the one AIML modeling, another is the molecular dynamic model, EMG simulation, and another one is the chemist who is designing the peptides. So we are incorporating such a, even our peptides are 30 daltons. So very small peptides are the parts of proteins, very, very small. So we are designing similar kind of approach. People are using it, but the peptides are very, very small. They are therapeutic peptides and targeting peptides also. So then you have to design two different peptides. Now we are working on the single peptide, which will act as a targeting, which will target the internal organelle of the cells as well as act as a therapeutics. And that's Trojan horse concept working well, especially in the lab. We are developing the lab on chip model to test our formulations also. Question?
Hello, sir. Nice talk. Nice talk. Actually, I'm interested in your liposome-mediated drug delivery system. So there would be chances to degrade that liposomes. So the like enzymatic stress, pH, or some mechanical stress. So how would we overcome
Yes,
that?
yeah. So that's the problem with the lipids. Lipids, they are sometimes natural lipids or sometimes synthetic lipids. They get attacked by the enzymes, especially in the blood. And if you have oral delivery, then the enzymes in our gut microbiome, they actually attack on this kind of lipids. They degrade, they denature. That's true unnatural process. So how we are overcoming them, yeah? That's the a real challenge even in all kind of drug delivery systems. So what we are combining synthetic and natural lipids together and making the hollow structure. Even they degrade, they will be longer in the blood. So one kind of making polymeric shield on the lipids bilayers is one way where they can be longer time in the blood and they can reach the organs. Once they reach the organ, this is the organ, then they degrade or they leave or it doesn't matter for them. It's just their part is to deliver that cargo. Yeah. But that's true. It's happening for. Earlier, I was working on the metal nanoparticles. They don't degrade actually. So the problem they are much toxic than the lipids.
And the second question is, you're working on cancer cells, cancer, right?
Huh.
So there is a MHC1, major histocomparative one.
Yeah.
So there is a for tumor microenvironment. There has some goals in there. So what would you say about the MHC1?
So you are a biochemist? I think so. Yeah, because they know all about this. That's we also work major histochemical complex. We also design neoantigens against them. So we can bind with them and get rid from such kind of tumor microenvironment targeting. But that's very complex immunology actually. And even immunologist fails to solve this problem. Unfortunately, my expertise is still very limited with the drug delivery and tumor microenvironment. But I am recruiting right now two immunologists. Hopefully, they will solve that problem we are facing right now with TMHC.
Thank you.
I think, yeah, we'll stop here. It's almost 1 hour and 30 minutes in the this room. So thank you so much for your patience, and it was very last minute plan activity. Hopefully next time, whenever I will have time, I'll spend more time with your students, faculties. Yeah, I always love them. Thank you so much.
Last question, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. If the patient is suffering from high-grade glioma, likely to be grade 3, grade 4, with glioblastoma, what kind of treatment is given in such cases?
Surgery is the option available right now. I work on the glioblastoma. Apart surgery in brain, medicines don't go there. The oxygen and glucose molecules all are limited with the blood-brain barrier. So drugs won't work, chemotherapy won't work well. So surgery is the only option right now. Radiotherapy works in little cases, but surgery, they treat all glioblastoma with surgery.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for enlightening our minds with your views that how interdisciplinary study is important for new creations. And the best example is in front of us, who started his journey with biology, but didn't stay with biology. Then he shifted to the physics, then migrated to the chemistry, then worked in the nanotechnology, and then finally his work in the nanomedicine and cell biology. Thank you very much, sir. Your search and your talk. I will conclude it with one quote. The main insight learned from the interdisciplinary studies is the return to the specialization. Thank you very much, sir. Now I request Principal Dr. Madhav Gawande, sir, for the presidential address.
त्यांनी अतिशय छान असं मार्गदर्शन आपल्याला त्यांच्या रिसर्चवर आणि विद्यार्थ्यांनी कसं रिसर्च करावं अगदी त्यांच्या सुरुवातीच्या शेवटची जी स्लाइड सरांनी दाखवली आयडिया फुल कमर्शियल ऍप्लिकेशन इथपर्यंत सगळ्या गोष्टी सरांनी अतिशय छान पद्धतीने मांडणी केलेली आहे. त्याचे रिसोर्स पर्सन आदरणीय डॉक्टर नानासाहेबजी थोरात सर व्यासपीठावर उपस्थित प्राचार्य आदरणीय शिंदे सर सर्व प्राध्यापक आणि विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो आपण टाळ्या वाजवून सरांचं महाविद्यालयामध्ये आपण स्वागत करूया. सरांनी सांगितलेलं आपण जे आता सगळं त्यांचं ऐकले ना एका फोनवर सर आपल्या महाविद्यालयात विद्यार्थी आणि प्राध्यापक यांच्याशी चर्चा करण्यासाठी ते आज उपस्थित राहिले आणि अतिशय छान आणि अत्यंत महत्वाच्या विषयावर त्यांनी हे लेक्चर दिलेलं आहे. खरं पाहिलं तर आपल्यातलाच एक माणूस हा जेव्हा फार मोठं संशोधन करतो थोडंसं मला नेहमी वाटत होतं की जेव्हा कोरोना आणि सगळं जग ठप्प झालं तेव्हा याच्यावर कुणीतरी लस शोधली पाहिजे आणि त्याला जो कोणी शोधेल त्याला नोबेल पुरस्कार दिला आणि योगायोगाने घडलं तसं की त्याच्यावर लस शोधली आणि मला वाटतं की त्याचा जो काही हेड होता ते रिसर्च टीमचा त्याला नोबेल पुरस्कार सुद्धा त्यांना दिला गेलेला आहे. आणि त्या टीम मध्ये राजर्षी शाहू महाविद्यालयाचा एक विद्यार्थी संतोष नरवडे नावाचा एक विद्यार्थी त्या टीम मध्ये होता त्याचा आम्हाला सरांना दिला. दुसरा आजार हा जो आहे कॅन्सर म्हटलं की माणूस आता मी लगेच सरांना बोलतो की हा कॅन्सर सारखा आजार जो आहे तो विल पॉवर बरा होऊ शकतो. कारण लुईसने एक पुस्तक लिहिलेलं आहे यू कॅन हील युअर लाईफ आणि 40व्या वर्षी त्या महिलेला आजार झाला कॅन्सरचा आणि तिनं म्हणजे विदाऊट मेडिसिन हा कॅन्सर सारखा आजार तिने क्युअर केला आणि वयाच्या 90 वर्षापर्यंत ती जगली. त्याच्या अनुभवावर आधारित ते पुस्तक लिहिलेलं आहे. म्हणून मी सरांना बोललो की आपल्या रिसर्च मध्ये या मेडिसिन सोबतच या गोष्टीला महत्व आहे का विल पॉवर ज्याला आपण म्हणतो मला वाटतं की ती महत्वाची आहे. सरांनी सांगितलं की ही फार महत्वाची असते की विल पॉवर आणि ही विल पॉवर मेडिसिनला सपोर्ट करते. जसं आता आम्ही बोलत सरांनी म्हटलं की जसं कोरोनामध्ये जे लोक मेले ते मेजर लोक हे आता कोरोना झालाय असं म्हटलं की तो माणूस गेलेला. त्याचे अनेक उदाहरण आहेत म्हणजे माहीत झाला कोरोना झाला की माणूस गेला. तसं सरांनी म्हटलं की कॅन्सर झालेला न कळालेला बरा न कळाला तर तो क्युअर होतो म्हणजे माहीत नसतं पण कॅन्सर झालेला आहे असं म्हटलं की त्याची तीव्रता ही अल्पकाळामध्ये जास्त आणि म्हणून त्याच्यावर रिसर्च करणं आणि हे रिसर्च करत असताना सुद्धा म्हणजे सरांचा विषय फिजिक्स आणि मेडिसिन मध्ये काम करत आहे. म्हणजे जे रिसर्च आज आपण म्हणतो ना की केवळ त्या विषयापुरतं नाही इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी रिसर्च झालं पाहिजे. म्हणजे नॅनो टेक्नॉलॉजी आयुर्वेद आणि लेसर टेक्नॉलॉजीचा एकत्रित संगम म्हणजे मला वाटतं की रिसर्च मध्ये असं त्रिवेणी संगम करण्याचं काम आदरणीय थोरात सरांनी केलेलं आहे. आणि त्याच्या माध्यमातून जगामध्ये त्यांनी वेगवेगळे अवॉर्ड्स रिसर्च फेलोशिप ज्या 28 देशांना मिळून आपण म्हणजे युरोपियन कमिशन म्हणतो आणि त्यांचा सुद्धा एक ब्राईट साईड अवॉर्ड त्यांना प्राप्त झालेला आहे 28 देशाच्या त्यामध्ये की सरांचं रिसर्च हे द बेस्ट रिसर्च म्हणून त्याला अवॉर्ड मिळाला. म्हणजे 20 जगातल्या नामांकित देशामध्ये असणारे हे युरोपियन युनियन ज्याला आपण म्हणतो त्याचा अवॉर्ड मिळणं, तो बेस्ट म्हणून अवॉर्ड मिळणं, असे एक नाही अनेक अवॉर्ड थोरात सरांना प्राप्त झाले. म्हणजे लंडनचे आहेत, आयर्लंडचे आहेत, स्वित्झर्लंडचे आहेत, जर्मनीचे, फ्रान्सचे, कुठला राहिला तर सांगा थोडंसं. इंडियाचा आहे यंग डीएसटी डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ सायन्स अँड टेक्नॉलॉजीचा सुद्धा त्यांना यंग रिसर्चर अवॉर्ड, त्यांना सायंटिस्ट अवॉर्ड सरांना प्राप्त झाले. म्हणजे असे अनेक, म्हणजे भारतासहित वेगवेगळ्या जगातल्या या अनेक देशांची अवॉर्ड सरांना प्राप्त झाले. मुद्दाम विद्यार्थ्यांसाठी हे व्याख्यान आपण आज सायंटिफिक टॉक हा मुद्दाम तुमच्यासाठी ठेवलेला आहे की ज्या सरांनी थोरात सरांनी हे सगळे अवॉर्ड मिळालेले आणि करोडो डॉलर त्याच्यासाठीची फेलोशिप त्यांना प्राप्त झाली आहे. आजही त्यांचं रिसर्च त्याच्यावर चालू आहे, ते पुढेही चालू राहणार आहे आणि त्याच्यावर एक चांगलं औषध शोधतील आणि लवकरात लवकर ते भारतासाठी देतील, त्यांना नोबेल पुरस्कार प्राप्त व्हावं अशी आमची सगळ्यांची. आणि मला वाटतं की ज्यांचं याच्यावर रिसर्च आहे, एक चांगलं मेडिसिन ज्यावर निघेल त्याला निश्चितच मला वाटतं की नोबेल सारखी पुरस्कार देण्याची कंपनी म्हणजे त्यांची जी काही एजन्सी आहे ती तात्काळ यांना पुरस्कार देऊ शकतात. सरांनी दाखवले की अनेक नोबेल लॉरेट त्या ठिकाणी काम करणारे आणि म्हणून एक मानवी जीवन सुखकर व्हावं यासाठीच रिसर्च म्हणजे फिजिक्स सारख्या विषयामध्ये पीजी पीएचडी पण रिसर्चचा टॉपिक पूर्णपणे वेगळा घेऊन ते काम करतायत. सरांनी दाखवत असताना हे दाखवलं सांगितलं म्हणजे झेडपी टू ऑक्सफर्ड म्हणजे प्रवास कसा आहे त्यांचा पहा. जिल्हा परिषदेची शाळा ते ऑक्सफर्ड विद्यापीठ, ऑक्सफर्ड युनिव्हर्सिटी, म्हणजे ऑक्सफर्ड युनिव्हर्सिटी नाव घ्यायला म्हणता आपण म्हणतो ना त्याला नाव घ्यायला फार वेळ लागतो ऑक्सफर्ड युनिव्हर्सिटी. कारण आपण फक्त म्हणतो भारतावर ब्रिटिशांनी राज्य केलं, भारतावर ब्रिटिशांनी राज्य केले नाही, भारतावर ऑक्सफर्ड युनिव्हर्सिटीने राज्य केलं. जगावर राज्य ब्रिटिशांनी नाही केलं, जगावर राज्य करण्याचं काम ऑक्सफर्ड युनिव्हर्सिटीने केलं. कारण त्यांचे गाईड ते आणि ऑक्सफर्ड युनिव्हर्सिटीचं नुसतं नाव सुद्धा बघणं म्हणजे भाग्य झालं. आणि त्या विद्यापीठामध्ये म्हणजे झेडपी पासून जिल्हा परिषदेच्या शाळेपासून ते झेडपी पर्यंत आमच्या महाराष्ट्रातला सातारा जिल्ह्यातला मायनी गावचा एक तरुण पोहोचतो आणि एवढं चांगलं रिसर्च करतो. सरांसाठी एकदा थोरात काय आपण आमची अपेक्षा आहे की आमच्या विद्यार्थ्यांनी सुद्धा याच्यावर रिसर्च केलं. मार्क्स आणि रिसर्चचा काही आहे का थोडासा म्हणून सरांनी मार्क लिस्ट दाखवली मला. म्हणून माझा तर आता हळूहळू असं वाटलं की एज्युकेशनचा काही संबंध नाही, एज्युकेशनचा पैसे मिळवण्याचा काही संबंध नाही, एज्युकेशनचा आणि चांगला नागरिक बनण्याचा काही संबंध नाही. उद्या ही शाळेत कॉलेजला द्यायची नाही. एज्युकेशन असलं पाहिजे, एज्युकेशन असलं पाहिजे. पण या सगळ्या गोष्टी पाहिल्यानंतर थोडं थोडं आम्हाला वाटलं तुम्ही अनेक बघा सायंटिस्ट सरांनी सांगितलं एक्झाम आली, आता आम्हाला वाटतं की आता एक्झाम बंद करावी काय, आणि खरंच आहे वा बरा गोष्ट. तुम्ही जर सगळे संशोधक होणार असाल, चांगले रिसर्चर होणार असाल तर आम्ही परीक्षा सुद्धा बंद करू करणे ऑटोनॉमस मध्ये. पण तुम्ही असेल की परीक्षा आहे म्हणून तेवढा तरी अभ्यास करता. यांना परीक्षाच नाही दिली तर मग काहीच करत नाही. बस सरांनी सांगितलं एक्झाम मुळे अभ्यास केला तर फक्त मार्क्स मिळतात आणि नॉलेज साठी अभ्यास केला तर सायंटिस्ट होतात. तुम्ही ठरवायचं आपल्याला काय आहे. तरी मार्क्स दाखवले 70%, 60%, म्हणजे ग्राफ कमी कमी होत गेला. 10वीला 70%, 12वीला 60%, युजीचं नाही दाखवलं. युजीला 85% होते. म्हणजे मार्क्सचा काही संबंध नसतो. म्हणून आपण तुम्ही फोकस हा अभ्यासावर करा, नॉलेजवर करा, की आपल्याला नॉलेज मिळवायचं. परीक्षेत मार्क एखादा कमी मिळेल जास्त मिळेल, परीक्षेच्या मार्क्सवर काही नसतं. तुम्ही तुमचं ज्ञान जे असतं ना ते फार महत्वाचं. हे नॉलेज तुम्ही मिळवलं पाहिजे. आणि रिसर्च कुणी म्हणजे कसं तरी सगळं दाखवलंय. म्हणजे आता असं काहीच राहिलं नाही की एकाच विषयात रिसर्च, तरी सगळं दाखवलंय. म्हणजे तुम्ही कुठल्याही फॅकल्टीचे असू द्या, रिसर्च करत असताना त्या सगळ्या गोष्टीचा म्हणजे फिजिक्स असेल, केमिस्ट्री असेल, मायक्रोबायोलॉजी, बॉटनी, झुलॉजी, त्यामध्ये सोशल सायन्स, ह्युमॅनिटीज सुद्धा घेतलेले. म्हणून सगळं आता म्हणजे कर्करोगावरच रिसर्च करतायत, पण सायकोलॉजीचा सुद्धा अभ्यास करतायत. जेव्हा सायकोलॉजी आणि ते तुमचं मेडिसिनचं रिसर्च याचा काही संगम तिथं काय करता येऊ शकतो हे फार महत्वाचं आहे. म्हणून तुम्ही छोट्या छोट्या गोष्टींमध्ये रिसर्च करणं, पण ते मनातून जसं सरांनी सांगितलं मला प्रश्न पडले, आम्हाला वाटलं होतं की प्रश्न विद्यार्थ्याला पडले, प्राध्यापकाला पडावे नाही, पण विद्यार्थ्यांना जास्त प्रश्न पडले पाहिजे. कारण जोपर्यंत आम्हाला प्रश्नच निर्माण होणार नाही तोपर्यंत आम्ही रिसर्च करणारच नाही. ते मनातून आलं पाहिजे की अरे हा प्रॉब्लेम आहे तर मग याच्यावर मला रिसर्च करायचं. मग तिथं लॅबोरेटरीमध्ये बसावं. जर किती तास बसतात विचार असतात, 12 तास 18 तास तिथं बसावं लागतंय रिसर्च मध्ये. ते काही सहज सोपं नसतं की आपल्याला दिसतं फक्त की बाहेर की आपण फार आळशी लोक आहे. आपण म्हणजे सगळे महाराष्ट्रात ते जास्त आळशी. तर आमच्यामध्ये क्वालिटी आहे, फक्त आम्ही ते बाहेर आणत नाही. आणि मला वाटतं की या संशोधनाच्या निमित्तानं विद्यार्थ्यांनी आपल्याला संशोधन थोडासा जागा करावा. आणि जिथं जिथं हे प्रॉब्लेम दिसतात ते प्रॉब्लेम सोडवण्यासाठी आपण थोडस जर प्रयत्न केले तर मला वाटतं की सगळ्या ह्याच्यामध्ये ठीक आहे सर, हे पण हे इनोव्हेशन करू शकतो. जसं बैलगाडीमध्ये काही सुधारणा आहे, गाडीच नवीन आणणं इन्व्हेन्शन. म्हणजे जे नवीनच आपण शोधतोय तर ते आपलं इन्व्हेन्शन असतं. पण आपण इन्व्हेन्शन नाही करू शकलो तरी इनोव्हेशन मात्र आपण करू शकतो. इन्व्हेन्शनला थोडा वेळ लागतो पण इनोव्हेशन करू शकतो. एक मोबाईल आहे, नवीन मोबाईल करा, वेगळ्या पद्धतीने करा. आता उभा आहे आडवा करा, काही फरक पडतो. इन्व्हेन्शनला म्हणजे इनोव्हेशनला काही नसतं. इनोव्हेशनला काही एखादी 4 चाकाची गाडी तुम्ही 5 चाकाची करा, काही फरक. म्हणजे मुलांना पण सरांनी सांगितलं आहे सुरुवात कुठे होते, झिरो पासून होते. तर आयडिया तुम्ही वापरताय, आयडिया टू मार्केट. म्हणजे हे फार महत्वाचं आहे. विदाऊट आयडिया तुमचं इन्व्हेन्शनही होत नाही, इनोव्हेशनही होत नाही, काहीच होत नाही. आपण जन्मलो आणि मेलो, काही फरक नाही. जगाला भार म्हणजे समाजासाठी आपण काहीच नाही केलं तर म्हणजे जगाला भार असतो. आणि म्हणून आपण आयडियाज तुम्हाला जास्त महत्वाच्या असतात. आयडिया सुटल्या पाहिजे, त्या आल्या पाहिजे. म्हणून तर मला वाटतं आईन्स्टाईननी सांगितलंय की ज्ञानापेक्षाही आयडिया जास्त महत्वाची असते. आयडिया इज मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट मोर दॅन नॉलेज. म्हणजे आयडिया तुम्हाला आल्या तर तुम्ही इन्व्हेन्शन करणार आहे, तर तुमचं इन्व्हेन्शन होऊ शकतं. नाहीतर मग आम्ही काहीच नाही. मग ही आयडियाच आम्हाला येत नाही. आता तर सर हे मोबाईल मुळे तर काय ह्यांच्या सगळ्या आयडिया केल्या, इन्व्हेन्शन केलं. फक्त ह्याला रील करायला फार चांगलं आहे. रील्स करणं फार चांगल्या रील्स करणं करा ना, ते पण करा, नाही असं नाही. पण आयडिया पण तुमच्या आल्या पाहिजे. आणि त्या आयडियाचं रूपांतर सरांनी सांगितल्याप्रमाणे फुल कमर्शियल अप्लिकेशन पर्यंत ते पोहोचलं पाहिजे. आणि मग ते लोकांपर्यंत कस्टमर पर्यंत जर गेलं तर मग खऱ्या अर्थानं आपल्याला त्याचा बेनिफिट होऊ शकतो. म्हणून सरांनी अतिशय छान पद्धतीने आपल्याला रिसर्च कसं करावं, काय करावं त्याविषयी त्यांनी मार्गदर्शन केलेलं आहे. वेगवेगळे असे आपल्याला सायंटिस्ट मिळणं, इथं उपलब्ध होणं हे आपलं आज भाग्य आहे की एवढ्या चांगल्या लोकांना आपल्याला ऐकता आलं, त्यांचं मार्गदर्शन घेता आलं. निश्चितच सरांचा फायदा तुम्हाला होईल आणि पुढे ज्या वेळेस आम्हाला गरज पडेल त्या वेळेस आम्ही आपल्याला बोलू. ऑफलाईन असेल ऑनलाईन असेल त्या ठिकाणी आपण यावं. आणि म्हणून आपण जे चांगल्या पद्धतीचं रिसर्च सरांची अनेक पुस्तकं प्रकाशित झाली, सरांच्या नावावर 3 पेक्षा जास्त पेटेंट आहेत, पुस्तकं आहेत, रिसर्च पेपर तर वेगवेगळे रिसर्च पेपर सरांच्या नावावर प्रकाशित झाले, चांगल्या जर्नल्स मधून प्रकाशित झाले आणि आज वेगवेगळ्या ठिकाणी ते या पद्धतीनं एक उत्कृष्ट असं संशोधन ते करतायत. त्याला निश्चितच यश मिळेल अशी अपेक्षा करूया. त्यासाठीही मी त्यांना खूप खूप शुभेच्छा देतो. आपणही छान पद्धतीनं ते ऐका आणि ऐकून फक्त इथं एक व्याख्यान होतं आणि मग ते थोडासा आले होते त्यांनी दिलं आता संपलं एवढ्यावर न थांबता त्याचं इम्प्लिमेंट आपल्या विद्यार्थ्यांनी आपल्या करिअर मध्ये करावं, त्याची सुरुवात करावी आजपासून, तर त्याचा फायदा झाला असा आम्ही मानतो. आपण ती करा अशी अपेक्षा व्यक्त करतो. त्यासाठी आपल्याला शुभेच्छा देतो आणि थोरात सरांनी अगदी कमी वेळामध्ये आपल्यासाठी थोड्या त्यांच्या बिझी शेड्यूल मधून या ठिकाणी वेळ काढला, ते आले, चांगलं असं मार्गदर्शन केलं, त्याबद्दल मी सरांना सुद्धा खूप खूप धन्यवाद देतो आणि थांबतो. धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद सर. निश्चितच मार्गदर्शन आम्हा सर्वांना निश्चित पुढे रिसर्च करण्यासाठी आणि रिसर्च मध्ये एंटर करण्यासाठी यानंतर मी विनंती करतो